Hello, Aldwyn, Altuney here. I have two fantastic guests with us today. We have Beverley, Rilatt-Richardson and Sue Atkinson, who are putting on a phenomenal retreat coming up very soon called Clean Up Your Act. It's coming up at Ivory's Rock in Peaks Crossing, which is west of Brisbane in Queensland. And today's topic is how to clean up your act. I love this topic. It's such a big one for people. So welcome, ladies. So great to have you here.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I'm very curious from the two of you. I know you do a great networking group as well together, but what is it that brought the two of you together and made you decide to do this event?
I actually met Beverley about probably 5 years ago now at a networking event, and it was actually, I was sent to Beverley's network by Susan Juggernaut, and I'd been working with her and going to her meetup group, and she actually suggested I go to Beverley's one on the peninsula. So I went there, and we've just hit it off ever since. So yeah, it's been really good.
Fantastic. And the name of your get together there, Beverley?
It's the Moreton Bay Networking Breakfast, Aldwyn.
Moreton Bay
Networking twice a month.
Breakfast.
Yes.
Twice a month. Fantastic. Moreton Bay Networking Breakfast, so people can check that out. And for those who don't know,
second and fourth Wednesdays.
Second and fourth Wednesdays. And what time is it?
7 o'clock.
7 a.m.
7 o'clock at the Sea Salt and Vine, which is right on the beach at Scarborough, right on the beach. It's beautiful.
Stunning location. So important to get out and appreciate the beautiful world that we live in. And for those who don't know the two of you, I'll just give a little bit of background, and then I'd love you to elaborate on your backgrounds and share more. The Beverley's passion is to enable women to reconnect with that feminine and sensual woman within for more purpose and pleasure. This has led her to become a teacher of the art of feminine presence and develop the divine feminine support circles and women's empowerment retreats. And Sue Atkinson is known as the Mother Hen Mentor. She's a beautiful, caring person who helps everyone she can. She's successful. She was a smart accountant, working for a while as an accountant, admin manager. She had a printing company which burned down, and now she's taken a complete life turn and now mentoring people in business, and very passionate about setting up Asperger's schools. So I love this history of the two of you. Now, Beverley, let's start with you. A little bit more on this, the women's work that you do. What was it that got you into doing that kind of work?
Okay, well, in a nutshell, Aldwyn, I decided to surrender to my grieving process when my husband died, right? I figured that the only way out was through. So I went into that cocoon of grief, and I stayed there. It was being like that mashed up caterpillar for about 7 months exactly to the day from his funeral. And that was a New Year's Eve, and I was able to get up and go to a New Year's Eve party because I felt that I'd got through. And I got up and danced. I hadn't danced for years. I got up and danced, and after about half an hour, I'm grooving away thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling joyful again, which I hadn't felt for a long time because I'd been his carer. Okay. So then I decided I needed to get involved in something. I didn't know what it was. Something that would give me pleasure and make a difference in the world. That were the only two criteria that I had. And I went to a retreat, which was one of those retreats where you could process anything you want. And life just led me to realize that I'd never been that feminine, sensual woman. I'd come from a background of working with the Anglican Church, and my husband had been 20 years older than me. And so I never really felt like that erotic, beautiful, sensual woman. And then I saw this woman dancing, and I thought, this woman, she was processing grief because her husband had become impotent. And I started to realize that as I realized that the tears started to roll down my cheeks, and I thought, there's something wrong. What's going on? I thought, you've only lost your husband 9 months ago. No, it's not that. I've been through my whole grief. And so what was it? And I realized I was 67 and I'd completely missed out on being this feminine, erotic, sensual woman. And I was grieving again. And then the other part of my brain kicked in and said, you're at an experiential retreat, Beverley. It doesn't have to stay that way. You can do whatever you want. I thought, my God, can I do something here? And my brain was saying, you're too old, you wouldn't know what to do. And my heart's saying, go for it, go for it. And so I plucked up the courage to say, I want to dance sensually in front of one of the men. And so the facilitator just said, okay, pick somebody. No, I wouldn't know who to pick. So you want to volunteer? So he just said, okay, guys, you heard. Who wants to volunteer to stand there so Beverley can dance sensually in front of them? And my heart's in my mouth until every male hand in the room just shot up as one. And I've thought, my God, I've still got pulling power at 67. How amazing. And the second thing was, gee, this whole sensuality thing must be important for the guys. So that's what I did. And the women were delighted, and something inside me broke, and I just felt that I had re-engaged with life again, and there's some part of me needed to come out. And so that's why I did the training to become a teacher of the art of feminine presence, to help women to reconnect to that feminine and sensual woman within, which is at the heart of every woman. So that's how I got involved.
Love that. And how long were you married, and how did your husband die?
We were married 32 years, Aldwyn. And
wow.
Yeah, and he just got very frail-aged. He couldn't walk. He ended up in a wheelchair. I was his carer. He had a number of different things that were wrong with him. And finally, he just ended up with pneumonia, double pneumonia, and died in hospital after about a week. And so that's when I thought, we weren't blessed with children. And I thought, well, I'm completely on my own now. You know, my parents had gone. My sister had died in a car accident 30 years before, but I had her kids that I was close to, which was my nieces and nephew. And so that's how it all started, where I thought, okay, I've got to do something that's going to make a difference in the world. And so that's what happened.
Amazing.
So that's
and,
right.
You know, amazing. And, you know, the fact is that, you know, nothing lasts forever, right? We come in with nothing, we leave with nothing. And I think it's admirable that you were together for so long, you know, because the average marriage nowadays lasts between, 16 to 20 years, depending if people had 2 or 3 kids. That's about the average rate of most marriages nowadays. So I think, being committed for that long really takes something. And obviously there's a grieving process to go through, once something like that ends. And I think it's wonderful that you found the joy in, moving forward, because I'm sure your husband would want that for you. You know, he'd want you to be happy and doing what you love. And I do believe that, we're spiritual beings in physical bodies here. And I do believe, your husband's with you with what you do, and that we have support here, that we have angels with us. We're never alone, right? We're never alone. And that universal energy, that power that is all around us is also within us. And finding that joy is so crucial. And in fact, if you want to find your purpose, Bob Proctor talks about, do what you love every single day. Do as much of what you love as you can every single day, and then find out a way to monetize that if you want to do that for work.
That's right.
But just do what you love. That's really the trick, because a third of people die by 65, right? And I know now, Sue, you've been through some incredibly challenging times as well, particularly lately with the printing business. You've got a few children. So could you share a little bit of your journey, which is amazing in itself, a little bit of your journey and what has brought you to this point?
Well, my journey is, I've been married twice. The first time only lasted about 5 or 6 years. I was married while I was in the army. I was in the army for 10 years in Signals Corps. Fantastic time of my life, but they don't tolerate single parents, or they didn't tolerate single parents or single mothers at that stage. So they made it very difficult for me to stay. So I decided I'd get out and I'd go to university. So I did all that. I had 4 children. My last child has Asperger's. He had a really difficult time at school, really, really bad. Ended up with PTSD by the time he was in 4th grade and all sorts of things. So it's really passionate to me to have the correct way of educating these children rather than putting them in mainstream. I mean, some of them survive mainstream, but they only survive. They don't do really well. And I think it's because the education system, well, this is in New South Wales, they're not built to tolerate their behaviours and stuff, and they really they go right down into the 2% of their bad behaviour rather than the 98% of their talents and things. And it really annoyed me. And they wouldn't listen, and, you know, there was all sorts of things. But I did a lot of research and did a lot of work with him, and I found the right people to help him and the right therapies and everything else. So he did pretty well. He stayed in school till year 12. Still not employed because he's with his father. But, yeah, he's a great young man now. So I would really like him to see him succeed. And we'd been talking about opening up our own school for a long time, and, you know, because he always wanted to be a teacher of Asperger's children. And that started me thinking, you know, what a great idea, have a school that's actually run by Asperger's adults. So, yeah, I've been following people in America called the Asperger's experts, who are two men in their 30s who started up their own company and all that. And that's all they do, is they teach parents how to relate to their children. They teach them how to advocate for their children, and they teach their children how to relax and, you know, recognize when they're going into anxiety attacks and things like that, and how to cope. So they're my number one people. So as soon as we're allowed to go overseas and go to America, I'm making an appointment to go and see them and see how their schools and things run over there, and then try and duplicate it here. But yeah, it's fantastic. And I just love teaching people, and just love helping people through their difficulties and stuff like that, which is why we like the mother hen mentor that we came up with about a week ago now. So that's what I do. I always put people under my wing and, you know, to carry them along and go, you know, we can make it, we can do it. You know, you just have to, you know, keep going, and that's what it is. So yeah, that's my whole philosophy in life and everything else is, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yes, and that certainly must have been challenging. No, absolutely. Your time's not up yet, Sue. So for those who don't understand what Asperger's is, can you explain, you know, what is it?
It's a form of autism, but they're high functioning mostly. They're quite capable. They've usually got a really something they're really, really interested in. But they suffer a lot with not being able to read faces and read body language and all that sort of stuff. So they learn social cues over the years. So my son, you know, you go up to him and say, "Hi, Blake, how are you?" And he'll put his hand out and say, "I'm very well, thank you." You know, because that's what he was taught. So that's what he does all the time. You know, so it's all learned. Their social skills are all learned things. There's no empathy or anything else. So yeah, so they don't understand how poetry would make them feel, because it's just poetry. It's just words on a page. It's really interesting.
Amazing.
Really fascinating people. Really fascinating people.
And a lot of genius there that is misunderstood, right?
Yeah. Well, my son was taking computers apart and putting them back together at 3rd grade, doing brilliant logic, and which is like complicated equations and things to be able to light up a board. You had to put the chords in the right place, so you had to solve the equations first, put the chords in the right place, and it lights up if it's correct, which of course it was always lighting up for him. So yeah, there's lots of things. You know, he's very mathematical and logical minded. So
yes, amazing. Now, you had a really hard situation recently with a printing company that burned down. Can you share a little bit more about that and how you dealt with that?
Well, that came out of the blue. That was in Easter, and I had a printing business that was, we did signs and packages for real estate agents, and we had just decided that we were going to, because of COVID, we were going to diversify. So we started working on all sorts of things to not get caught next time we had big lockdowns or something of this magnitude happened. So we just started getting all that together, and we got a fire for one of our drills that went, you know, the drill what do they call them? Battery drills. So we had the battery on charge, and it overheated, caught fire, and took out my warehouse. And then the rest of the place was all smoke inhaled. So yes, but I had insurance, so it wasn't that bad. But it doesn't leave me with anything. It paid all the bills out and everything else, but didn't leave me with anything. But yeah, it's an experience to go through a fire, but you just have to learn to, okay, that's the universe telling me I'm not supposed to be going down that track. So let's see what else we can do. And so I just pulled all this stuff out and went, okay, I've always wanted to be a teacher. It's just in my blood. My mother was a teacher, and that was one of the things I actually got into teachers college when I left school. I had like 5 different opportunities to do, but chose the army. But so teaching's always been in the background, and with all of my clients in bookkeeping and all that sort of stuff, I'm always teaching them how to do things or showing them how to do things, and I keep on getting told by coaches that I should be monetizing that instead of just giving it away. So I've decided I'm going to go that way and just have different people who are really good in their fields teach the people who don't know anything about those particular things. So by having mentor dinners and things like that. So yeah, it should be really good. I've thought about it for a long time.
Yes, the time has come, and fires are very symbolic in nature for endings and new beginnings, because in every fire there's actually sparks of new seeds that come up, and and it's important to actually have fires every so often to cleanse the space. And what a symbolic way to start this new life of yours moving forward. And that's the thing in life, is there's going to be challenges, there's going to be things that are going to set us off course sometimes. They say we make plans and God laughs, right? Sometimes you want something to happen a certain way. You can be committed, but don't be attached to how that's going to look. And sometimes we need to sort of just flow with whatever happens and look for the opportunity in every adversity, which is so poignant right now during the current times that we're in through the pandemic. And this topic today, I love this, how to clean up your act, because a lot of people feel that they're in a mess in some way. There's some part of their life that is a mess, right? And you've probably seen it in finances, right? I'd say a lot of people have got finances in a mess, right? There could be physical
just a couple, not too
just
many.
a couple. I'm sure no one here on this event right now. Of course, no one watching this. This is other people we're talking about. But this mess, how to clean up your act. So where do people start with cleaning up their act? So Beverley, maybe to you on this one to start with. Where do people start to clean up their act?
Well, we've got to acknowledge that there's an act to clean up.
Yes.
That's a good start, right?
Yeah, that's a good start.
And sometimes we're very well aware and we think, well, we don't know what to do about it, right? And other times we're not aware. Other times it can be unconscious sabotage of things that are within us that we're not sure how on earth we can do that. And so what we're doing is taking women away from the ordinary everyday into this beautiful place called Ivory's Rock at Peaks Crossing, which is a pristine wilderness, and saying, okay, we've got some presenters here that are really good at what they do, and they're going to help you, right? And one of our presenters is a former cordon bleu trained chef. And she saw the light about, the fact that what she was eating wasn't necessarily feeding her body and her spirit, as it were. And so she became a nutritionist and health coach. So her name is Patricia Eli Fredericks, and she's going to be taking 2 sessions for us on the Saturday. And my goodness me, she's called them Goals for the Soul. And basically, it's to be able to help women to look at their life, all the different aspects of their life, not just one thing. Oh, well, I've got a problem with finances, or I've got a problem with my husband, or, whatever it is that they think, right? And so she gets them to look at these goals, at these aspects, and then work out, what is it that maybe might be missing? And what kind of things might be habits and mindset That's what I love about what she does, right? She actually helps us, is going to be helping us to look at our habits and say, oh, well, you know, what kind of habits have I established in my life that I get these outcomes? And that's so important because we don't often think about habits, right?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's just what I'm like. Okay. So that's one thing. And then also she talks about mindset, or she will be talking about mindset. And the mindset is difference between the set mindset and a growth mindset. And part of that is that she'll be looking at things that are going to help to, she's going to do some coaching, individual coaching, and just ask women if they would like to step up and be coached. So this is what you maybe want to do.
There.
Sorry?
One person is going to be actually coached there.
That's right.
In that session.
In that session, right? Which is so important because then we can see how she works and the kind of questions that we could ask for ourselves. And as she said, it's got to be for you alone. You're the only one that's got these goals. There's got this things that you really would love to achieve, right? At this point in your life. And if you've thought that there's maybe no way that you'll be able to do that, well, maybe there is a way. And let's find this together. Right. So that's one of the things. And then the other person is Fiona Edmonds. She's got a business called Mind Life Balance. And I love what she's going to be doing, a couple of sessions. And one of them is on looking behind the mask of what we present to the world. Right. We all wear a mask of some description. Sometimes we're conscious of what mask we wear. Other times we're not. Right. So she's going to be looking at behind the mask and just try to work out what is it that we are presenting? What do we want to maybe run away from or hide? And we're actually going to be physically working on masks while we do this. It's going to be fascinating, right? Because the other thing she wants to do is to help us to find that hero within. Because it's not like, oh, it's all shadow stuff inside me. I won't know. What am I going to find? I might be a bit afraid of what I find, right? It's also about finding the treasures within you, because if you can find that inner part of you, which really can step up, and she can help you to do that, then you'll be able to have a lot more joy in life, a lot more fulfillment. You'll find those treasures within, she calls them. And I think that's fabulous to be able to do that kind of thing, right? In a very practical way. So the two of them are going to be working in together, as you can see, in terms of how they're presenting things. So it depends on what you're looking for. You're looking for things like maybe your habits or bad health habits. She's very good at looking at bad health habits, right? What about things like procrastination? Who can't put up their hand for procrastination?
Yes, some people procrastinate about putting up their hand for procrastination.
I like that.
Do I?
Absolutely.
Hold on.
Yeah.
No, you know. So procrastination, why do we procrastinate? You know, what do we fear? Things like that, right? And also just what happens if we go into some sort of overwhelm? How do we really get out of that? Right? I've experienced a lot of this stuff this year myself.
Yes.
Right? So I'm well aware of some of the things that we have to look out for, right? And of course, you know, sometimes you can just accumulate a mess that the only thing you can get out of that is to do a declutter, right? To do a declutter. So there are things within us that we sabotage, that we can't get on top of, and then it kind of, you know, it expresses itself physically in our environment because of what's happening within, because we're stuck in some way. But if we can get on top of all of that with the help of these women, then we've got a declutter expert that's coming in to talk about how to go about decluttering.
Exactly.
Right? And then you're coming in and talking about how fabulous it's going to be to not be down on yourself, to say there are things you can do, and your attitude of gratitude is going to be a huge thing about this, right? So,
yes,
not exactly
amazing.
in a nutshell, dear, but that's part of how we're going to help women to clean up their act. Okay.
I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. And it's October 9 and 10, so it's coming up just next week. And
Actually, it starts on the 8th, the Friday night now.
Oh, the Friday night. Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. Even better. So 2 nights, people get 2 nights out there, and that's amazing. And the quality of speakers is extraordinary. I can't wait to see them myself in that beautiful location. So my topic's the power of gratitude to inspire action. Power of gratitude to inspire action. We're going to do a global good news challenge together, which will be amazing. And it's phenomenal how powerful it is to share gratitude. In fact, watching this right now, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you right now? Just pop into the comment. Allow StreamYard at the top there too, so for us to see your comments. And just let us know, where are you coming to us from right now, and what are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for? Pop into the comments. So it's a phenomenal retreat, and it's such a good price. It's incredible, the investment for this. Can you just share the investment and what people get with that?
Do that.
Yep, it's only 200. Sorry, 200. It's only 400. Oh my gosh! See, it's going to go up and up until I get to the right number. It's $547 for the weekend, which is your 2 nights accommodation in a really nice little room all by yourself. So it's got a double bed. You have your own ensuite. It's air conditioned. You've got a wardrobe, tea and coffee making facilities, and a microwave. It's really, really nice. We've also got food all weekend: food, drink, tea, coffee, morning teas, all that sort of stuff. And they might even be able to have a few bottles of wine on Saturday night, just to kick back and get to know each other. So yeah, it'll be really nice.
Amazing.
I'm putting together some music and some games for Saturday night, which will be great.
And it also includes our health coach is going to be doing, former cordon bleu chef, is going to be doing some meals for us as well.
Wow.
Yes, she's actually doing Friday night's meal and Sunday lunch. And they are both really healthy things. And I'm going to put into she actually has a vegan chocolate mousse recipe that she made at a retreat that I went to with Beverley a long time ago, and I've never forgotten it. So we've put that on the menu. It's absolutely beautiful, based on avocados and bananas and cacao. So it'd be really lovely. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting hungry now. That sounds beautiful. And only $547. That is such a bargain. Like, most events nowadays, they're selling for about $1,000 a day. So that is really good value, including accommodation and all those speakers, and to get away. It's so great. It's so great.
I was just going to say, we just kept it down at that price so that people can actually afford to come along. And especially the people who actually need the help to come along. Yeah. So we made it as cheap as we possibly can, just to get people along who need to be there. So amazing. Yes. And I'm sure it's worth every dollar. And you pay so much for accommodation alone nowadays. So that's an amazing investment in yourself. And of course, the more you nurture yourself and fill your own cup up, then you can help others with the overflow. And of course, women are renowned for giving so much to so many other people and not giving enough to themselves. So this is a way that you can actually take time out of your busy schedule and take time out of doing a million things for other people and get away from your environment and come into a beautiful place where you can nurture yourself, get grounded, have some beautiful, women to connect with. And that's the thing, men need their men time, women need their women time. It's like in the old days, in the, tribal times, this is what happened. The men went out hunting, the women went out gathering, and then they come back together at the end of the day and they have a big celebration and dance and bonfire, etc. So this is important to have a bonfire. We can have a bonfire out there.
Whoa! Wow!
Fantastic.
I was about to ask.
Bring your marshmallows.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's brilliant. And we've got Bradley joining us. Hello, Bradley from Sydney, Australia. Welcome. He's saying nice presentation. Thank you very much. So for the others joining us right now, where are you coming to us from? What are you grateful for today? Just pop into the comments. Love to hear from you. So what are some tips then? What are some tips that you've used in your life to clean up your act in any area of life? And I think a big part while we're saying this is not to make yourself wrong about any of this, because life is perfect just as it is. You are where you are because everything has brought you to this point and you can't change the past. So here we go. Moving forward, what are you going to create for yourself? How are you going to clean up your act moving forward and enjoy the journey at the same time? So what are some things that you do to clean up your act?
Well, on a personal note, I always try and make sure that I put aside a certain amount of time during the week that is just for me. So I decide what is going to be the most important thing for that week to get off my slate, more or less. And I just, because it feels so good to be able to tick something off. So if you've got a really big project to do, try and put it down into really small steps. So you're actually achieving something each week, but it's actually taking you towards the bigger picture. And I think that's the way I've worked. I used to get really overwhelmed when I had 4 children, all under 4, and they were just a lot of work. So you had to always make sure that you had your own mental health there in order to cope with everything. So I used to get a lot of overwhelm because I used to think I was responsible for everything, and I just decided one day, well, whatever I can get done, I can get done. And if everything else will just stay there. I don't have brownies or anything else coming into my house, or fairies and doing stuff. So, you just decide. You have to decide for yourself, though, when enough is enough. It's like giving up smoking or going on a diet or whatever. You get to that point where you just go, okay, that's it. This is the beginning of the next part. So you just have to take it step by step, and one small step towards the bigger picture is my go-to. So, and you don't get stressed so much that way either.
Yes. And looking at your motivations, you're motivated, away from pain. Like, how big is the pain for you to be motivated towards the pleasure, right? And when that pain gets big enough, then that's when you really shift things. And I do find it takes time sometimes to sort out the mess, to clean up the act, right? Whether it's in the finances or the physical clutter. And I know I've had some issues with this myself. And the thing is, and it could even be weight for some people, right? The thing is, we put it on in layers, right? We create a mess in layers. We create it over time, and it's going to take time to take those layers away. So it's important to be patient through this process. And as you say, allocate some time every week that you actually put into that, and acknowledge yourself for the achievements that you make, rather than looking at the massive task of whatever it is you've got at hand, whether it's, getting your taxes up to date or cleaning up the physical clutter, which could be a whole garage full of stuff for some people, right? And sometimes you look at the garage, you think, oh my goodness, where do I start? But if you just start with one box, you say, right, well, this weekend I'm just going to tackle that box, right? I'm going to work out what I'm going to give to Vinnie's and what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to, and because, I know I've had a big thing about not wanting to waste anything, right? And I know in our heritage, I've had an auntie that died of hunger. I've had, we've had a lot of lack in the heritage, where we've not had enough. And so I hate wasting things. I hate putting things in the bin. So I would rather give something to a charity that can use it. Nowadays, I don't bother selling things in general unless they're really valuable. I don't really bother, because that then takes more time. However, it's more wasteful to keep something that's not being used. So you're better to actually go through it and to give it away, rather than having it wasteful sitting there at home. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this conversation. So what I'm saying is, please be kind to yourself in this process. Acknowledge yourself for the small wins, whether it's, sorting out a box or even a part of the box, just putting, maybe some people say just give 8 minutes to it. Just go, right, and set the timer for 8 minutes and just get into it. And often you'll find before you know it, it's an hour. Put some happy music on if you're sorting out your clutter, and, and only keep what gives you joy. And then bless that thing as you send it off, right? Because all our possessions generally have some kind of emotional meaning for us. And so learning to let go is a big thing as well. We've got Patricia here. Hello, Patricia. She's saying hello from You Got This in Brizzy. Looking forward to the weekend. Awesome, Patricia. That's great. Well, I've just put the link in there for those who want to join the retreat. There are a few spots left there. So hop onto this link. It is thefeminineguru.com/events, and we look forward to seeing you there. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. So there's some awesome tips there, Sue. I love that. Anything else you want to say before we hear from Beverley on this one?
No, just, don't beat yourself up either. If you don't get to whatever, or you don't quite finish that task that you've put aside for that weekend, don't beat yourself up about it. As I said, it doesn't go away. It'll still be there tomorrow or whatever. So, and you will get to it. So,
yes,
don't take it to heart.
Yeah, baby steps. The main thing is progress, not perfection, right? And
Correct.
I know
Yes.
for myself, I've been a high achiever. I can be really hard on myself sometimes, and sometimes it can just feel so frustrating when you want really quick results in life, and it feels like it's taking longer than you'd like it to take. But hey, it takes as long as it takes. It
I
just
know.
takes
I
as
still
long as
haven't
it
won
takes.
lotto yet. What's going
Yeah,
on? It's just, I keep entering and nothing happens.
well, you never know. You've just got to keep
I
playing the game.
know.
You got to be in it to win it, as they say. You got to be
I
in it to
know.
win
That's
it.
what they keep on telling me when they take my money.
Yeah. I'm putting good vibes your way, Sue.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And Beverley, what are some things you do to clean up your act?
Well, in some ways, I used to not really think, I'd say, oh, I'm a bit untidy, but I would make excuses for that, right? And then I got to a point this year because of COVID-related things, and my business fell through the cracks, and I got behind in the rent, and it was all sorts of horrible things that happened to me this year, right? And I got to a point where I felt completely overwhelmed. I felt I was going into a meltdown, right? And so what I did was the only sensible thing I could do. I didn't know about the mother hen bit at that point, but I rang up Sue and said, I'm in strife. Can I come and stay at your place for a couple of days, right? I need to unwind. I need to sort myself out. I need to get away from the normal that I'm doing, right? And so she said, sure. I got a train there, and she had me there for a couple of days, which was wonderful. And we talked about a lot of things, and that's when she started to help me with the mentoring side of things. So I'm aware that sometimes we need to get out of our normal environment and go somewhere to really start looking at what's going on within us, to get that courage to look at what's going on, right? So that's one of the things that I think is so important about our weekend away, is to be able to say, yes, I can take myself away from what normally I'm in. If I'm in it all the time, how can I really see what's going on? Right? It's very difficult sometimes to be able to see what's going on. So that's one of the things, is to be able to move away. And then the second thing is to learn to trust somebody else. You don't have to keep it all to yourself, right?
True.
You can open up and talk to somebody else who loves you and accepts you the way you are. And that is such a blessing to know that, right? So that's a really important thing as well. And then once you've done that, and then you can start looking at yourself, and maybe even from their point of view, where they can challenge you about various things, right? And so you have a look at and say, oh, well, okay, maybe I hadn't thought about that aspect, or, can I look at something a different way, or can I act on a different way in some ways? Because we can only act from really what comes from within us. And so one of the treasures that I have found, and this is why I'm so important, I think it's so wonderful, some of the things that we're going to be covering this weekend, is that I found I had values I thought I'd forgotten or I'd lost, and I hadn't. And they were there all along. But I needed the way to be able to step up and actually act those out, to be able to say, yes, those values are still there. I can put boundaries around myself as to what's important and what's not important for me. Okay, so that's part of the way that I learned to clean up my act as well. And all of those things are so important, right? And that's partly why Sue and I get on so well. We're so different in many ways, right? With our personalities and things like that, right? But she's got this mother hen thing, and at a point where I needed to have a mother hen, right, around to help me to and oh no, I didn't think I did. I was a strong, independent woman that everybody could see. Oh, Beverley, she always keeps going. She's amazing. Blue, right? Okay. But that was one of the things that happened. And the other blessing that happened was that a friend decided to give me a GoFundMe campaign, and so that helped a great deal to be able to start catching up with the rent and being able to get out of this horrible situation of maybe even becoming evicted. And I'd never in my life ever thought I would have to face something like that. So I've had to learn to step up to my own act, as it were, and to look at my act and to clean up my act. So that's why I feel passionate about doing these things for other women as well. Right? Trust the process. We will be able to help you. Whatever it is, we will be able to help you. So that's where I'm at. Makes sense?
Beautiful. So much gold in what you said there. And this is the thing, is there's times that we're all going to feel down, right? It's not natural to be constantly on a high all the time, right? We have the yin yang of life. We have the dark and the light forces, and the more light you feel sometimes, the more dark you can feel at any moment, right? And so it's a matter of actually acknowledging and appreciating that when you have a low moment, maybe it's your body telling you to rest and take some time for you and to nurture yourself, right? Or when we get sick sometimes, right? We get dis-ease in life sometimes when we push ourselves too much, or we overstress ourselves. And I think having a great environment of people around you is so important. You know, I've had depression over the years. I've had 4 friends take their own lives by the age of 45. And, you know, the stats are 1 million people a year worldwide take their own lives. That has gone up now with COVID. It has gone up. So now more than ever, it's important for people to reach out. If you're feeling low, if you're feeling down anyway, it's okay. We're going to get through this, right? We'll get through this, and we'll get through this together. And it's so important to get conscious to your energy right now. And in fact, I had a breakdown just 2 days ago, and, you know, these beautiful ladies in my life reached out, from the Tuesdays on Tedder ladies. They reached out and they were just so beautiful. And I felt so blessed and grateful, you know, that they came forward and helped me through this low period I was going through. And I was just being hard on myself around something. And I was also getting a bit depressed around some of the news that I was hearing. You know, I work in the media, and sometimes I see videos about what's going on with COVID and, you know, the vaccine and all the police brutality, all of this. Sometimes it's just so heavy, some of this scenery and this footage, that it's really hard sometimes not to take it on board. And being an empath, I kind of, you know, it really can impact me on a deep level, and I know for others as well. So I think it's important to be an observer, and learn to not take that stuff on board on a cellular level, because we can't control what others are doing. We can control how we're responding, and lifting our vibration and energy is so important. Having a great environment of people around you that you can reach out to when you're feeling down. And there might be times you just want to put on a meditation, or maybe have a nap. At times, sometimes I just want to sleep for a while and just not talk to anyone. However, realize that you are not alone, and there's always someone you can reach out to if you are feeling down. And having a great community like you're putting together for your retreat, for example, this is a perfect example of you beautiful women coming together in circle, in friendship, in collaboration, in empowerment, to support each other. And that is so crucial. And for the men there too, you know, the men's groups are so important as well, right? So this
absolutely.
is not just about women here. This is obviously, you know, men. We love the men in our lives as well. You know, this just happens to be a women's circle type event. However, you know, for the men as well, you're never alone. There's always people who can support you through that.
That's right.
Yes.
And even if you can't find somebody, find a woman. She will talk to you.
Yes, exactly. Women are more than happy, usually more than nurturing. Hello from Hey. We've got someone, ZPG. I'm not sure who you are. I don't know what that stands for, but hello from Hey. Welcome. Nice to see you. What are you grateful for today watching this right now? I'm grateful for you watching this. Thank you so much. And if you like what you've seen so far, share the love. Put a comment in there. Share the love to your people. Let us know something you've got out of this conversation so far, or something that you do to clean up your act. What are some of your tips that you have used to clean up your act in whatever it is? So I'm looking, like, I'm not sure what you're looking. Hopefully you're looking for something. Oh, my health. Okay, you're looking for something to be grateful for. Okay, your health. Awesome. Well, I'm grateful for your health too, to be here to watch us. And I'm grateful for this technology right now to reach you. What are some things you're grateful for, ladies, today?
Well, I'm grateful that lady was interested in health, because that's one of the things that we're going to be looking at our retreat, right?
Yes.
I'm also grateful for the fact that I went to see my doctor about 2 weeks ago, just for an ordinary, 6-monthly routine, a checkup. And I said to her, I put on these new summer slacks and they seem to be a bit loose around the waist. Can I jump on your scales? And so she, yeah, sure, so I did. And she checked back for 12 months ago. I've lost 10 kilos, Aldwyn. And
wow.
I'm amazed, and I wasn't trying to. It's just all the walking I'm doing, because I don't have a vehicle at the moment. So I have to walk to the bus, the train, from the library to the shops, I love it. I mean, in essence, it's been one of the best things, a sort of side effect. So sometimes the things we do can actually give us really positive side effects, but we don't know it at the time that it's happening, right? I didn't know I was doing all that until it became obvious I had to, and people started to say to me, wow, you look skinny. oh, thank you, But it was more by good luck than good management. But it's possible. So we want people to
Yes.
have the chance and the opportunity. Go onto the website, have a look at the thefeminineguru.com/events and check to see what this is all about, this weekend away, because we will help to impact your health through our health coach, right? And impact your mind through our coach who runs a business called Mind Body Connection. So, it's just, there it is. Thank you. Yes, that's right. It's so important to actually check this out. There are people available. There's this beautiful setting available that we can go to. You get to meet other friends that you may have not met before if you're a little bit lonely because of the lockdowns that we've had, right? Really important to be able to meet together. I mean, Zoom's wonderful. Well, we're kind of doing the equivalent of Zoom, but there's nothing quite like meeting other women face to face.
Absolutely. Meeting in person is so important. And we've got ZPG, whoever you are, says, good on you, Beverley. Good on you for losing that weight. Awesome. And ZPG is grateful for working out. And that's working out without realizing you're working out. Just move. You don't have to go to the gym to exercise. Just get out, get some sunshine. Sunshine's so good for vitamin D. Just 15 minutes a day, fresh air, fresh filtered water without fluoride. There's a lot we can do for our health. Simple things, get to the beach if you're near the beach, or get in amongst nature is so fantastic too. And I must say the location looks absolutely stunning. So can you let us know a little bit more about the location? Maybe over to you, Sue, for that one.
Oh yeah, the place is phenomenal. It's just huge. It's on like 300. I can't remember if it's 366 or 631, but it's hectares of just beautiful, pristine bushland. And they've got all these different places that you can go depending on the size of your crowd. They even have a amphitheatre with a full stage that can hold 4,000 people.
Wow.
They've got another place that can have a band in the middle, and they've got all these already to-made stalls that have got all the food preparations and fryers and everything else down one side, and a whole heap of stalls down the other right-hand side that are ready for just little boutiques and things. So if you ever want to have a fundraiser there or whatever, it's just a phenomenal place. They also have where we're staying. The cottage that we're using is just a small hall with full catering, commercial catering kitchen, and a bar, which is like, the bar is fantastic. They've got a really nice restaurant up the back that has a beautiful open hearth fire on the bar. Next to that is all wood, and it's just beautiful. They've got Ironbark Village, so if you've got a small group or if you want to get married, you can actually get married there. There's a grass area in the middle. You can put your tents or whatever up there, and there's little cabins and things, and a little kitchen again. It's just a phenomenal place to go have conventions, weddings, whatever you need out there. But it's so quiet. You don't realise how much noise you put up with during the day when you're living in a city or a town or whatever. You think that your street is really quiet, but you go out there and your ears start ringing because they're going, hold on, we're trying to find, where's this noise? Where's the noise? Why is it so quiet? It's really bizarre, but that's what struck me out there. And they've got all the bird life. They've got pretty face wallabies running around all over the place, kangaroos. It's really, really lovely setting. Very, very relaxing. And, of course, if you like camping, all their camping grounds are power sites, and really nice amenities as well. So, yeah, it's just a phenomenal place.
It's the wilderness aspect that I love, with all the birds and the wildlife that we can see there as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And just phenomenal. And the lovely little areas where we can actually meet and talk and discuss things as well. And break up into small groups and, whatever we need to do to look at cleaning up our act.
So Love
Yeah,
it. Oh, it
wonderful.
sounds so grounding, amazing. I love getting into nature and into the bush. And it's funny. Last night I was on my balcony here in Southport. I have a house in Southport. It's kind of like a tree house. It's got a bit of a tree house feel around it. And, at the end of the street is a tram stop. And I actually look down the street and hardly any houses in the street have trees. And I've chosen to plant a heap of trees around my place. And these two possums were on my balcony. The mother and the baby were feeding off my balcony with all these trees. And I thought, see, you have trees that you plant and grow, and it attracts nature. And it's such a shame that not many people are planting trees and are doing this in suburbia on the Gold Coast. In fact, they're clearing habitat, which is incredibly sad. So getting out to these beautiful nature areas makes you appreciate just how important that is, to get back to nature and to reconnect with the animals and the bird life. And it just really, it's amazing as a grounding exercise, and just to appreciate the small things in life, right, that we often tend to take for granted. We have so much magnificence all around us. And if it's not right there in your neighborhood, then drive an hour to Peaks Crossing, and it's it's not that far from Brisbane or Gold Coast. It's about an hour, right? So it's definitely worth the trip. It's not too far to go out to. Obviously, with the border closures, it's probably hard at the moment for anyone outside of Queensland, and who knows, that could change at any moment. However, do what you can to get there if you are in Queensland, and hopefully the borders will open up. However, even so, what can you appreciate right now about your environment, wherever you are in the world right now? So much we can be grateful for. And even with all the chaos out there, I always say things can always be worse, right? Things can always be worse. So let's be grateful for what we have, for our bodies at the very least, for the fact we can speak, for our eyes, for our, people say, wonder what shoes they're going to wear. And there's people out there with no feet, like Nick. Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic is phenomenal. No arms, no feet. No arms, no legs, and he's one of the most inspiring speakers I've ever seen. Australian guy, Nick Vujicic. Check him out. The guy with no arms and no legs, and unbelievable guy. So we have nothing to complain about, really. Right? There's always going to be challenges, but hey, let's look at the opportunity amongst the challenges, right? What's the opportunity? And here is this amazing opportunity, the Clean Up Your Act retreat. Such a great way to connect back in person, not through an online event, as much as we love our online events and technology, but getting back to a physical event, I think, is so important, to have that connection face to face, to be able to hug people again, all of that kind of thing is so important for human beings.
Absolutely. And what it just occurred to me, I wonder whether the viewers that are looking at this could think about what is it that they would really like to clean up about their act.
Yes.
Are they willing to look at themselves and think, well, maybe I ought to look at this or that or something else, right? Because we have to get to a point of saying, yes, it's not all hunky-dory. It's not all roses and champagne, right? We need to. There's some parts of our lives that we're conscious of, that we would love to clean up. And there are parts of our lives that we recognize that we're not conscious of, but we're still sabotaging ourselves through. And so you've got the opportunity of looking at something like that.
Exactly. And actually owning that, taking ownership and saying, I choose to clean up my act in this area because I'm going to feel amazing when this is done. Or even in the process of doing it, I choose empower yourself instead of making yourself wrong about it, right? Which, of course, those thoughts could pop up at any moment. I know they have for me in the past, right? Those thoughts can pop up like, oh my goodness, how did it get like this, right? So instead of those thoughts, just, just say, thank goodness I'm here. I can take action. And actually every step you take towards that is a step in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely.
Our person here from Hay saying, yes, nature. Hello, Hay person. We don't know what your name is, but ZPG we'll call you. The stars at night over the Hay Plains. Beautiful. Yes, the stars. Beautiful.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing stars.
Yes.
That's the other thing.
Good on you. Good on you for doing that. That's fantastic.
Kitchen garden for the local public school. The children loved it. Awesome. Hey, there's nothing like that. Hey, actually, hey, I didn't mean hey like hey, but hey. It's a very Queensland thing to say hey. John. Oh, hello, John. Hello, John from Hay. Good on you, John. That is awesome. Getting self-sufficient at this time is so crucial. Plant some fruit trees, some veggies, plant whatever you can that you can eat. There's nothing quite like fresh food from your garden. So get into that right now, become sustainable. We don't know what's going to happen down the track. You know, people are starting to prepare now. They're starting to stock up on food. Definitely a great idea to start getting those gardens in place for yourself. That is a great way you can clean up your act right now, is actually by getting a garden happening, and seek help. There's a lot of people also that you can hire to come and do a garden for you if you don't know anything about gardening, you know, and then there's community gardens and things like that as well. So lots you can do there. And that's also very grounding to get your hands in the dirt and do a bit of gardening. It's a wonderful thing.
We won't be doing gardening, honey, but we will be doing walking. Right? There's lots
you never know. You never know, do you? You never know. I could probably make up some things in some little egg cartons, and they can take home a seedling or something. That'd be nice.
That could be a good idea.
That would be nice. That's a great idea, actually. And John's saying here, children have an innate connection with nature and plants. Yes.
Oh, they do. And children are amazing. Just amazing little things. They don't have any, they don't recognise themselves as male or female or anything else. They don't recognise themselves as black, white, yellow, green, red, whatever it is. My son actually has a best friend all the way through school, and he's Korean. His parents actually adopted him. And so his parents are Aussies. They're white Aussies. And he came to me when he was in about 4th grade and said, "Did you know that Michael is adopted?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "How did you know? How did you know that he was adopted?" He had no idea, none. That didn't even occur to him that, you know, Michael's Korean. His parents are not Korean. You know, it was just so lovely, and I just wish kids would stay that way, but of course they don't. You know, society just takes all that away. But you know, one day we will be like that.
But tapping into that inner child, you know, because we are all big children, really. Let's face it, we're big children. We're kids at heart. So tapping into that innate connection with nature and plants is important as an adult as well, to tap back into that. And John says walking is fantastic. We are all brothers and sisters on Mother Earth. Absolutely, John. Absolutely, absolutely. We're all brothers and sisters on Mother Earth. Love that. And that's the thing, unity, right? There's power in unity. Right now, we have a lot of divide and rule going on. There's a lot of control by the powers that be, etc., that is happening. And it's important to be aware, to do your own research, look up alternative good news channels, truth media, freedom of information media. Do your own research with everything that's happening right now in the mainstream media. If we are hearing the same message bombarded again and again and again, there is usually some kind of hidden agenda, and follow the money trail if you want to know what that hidden agenda is. And I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together and work that out for yourself. So do your own research with everything I say, having worked in the media for a long time. And I think this is really important, because with that knowledge, the knowledge is power, and you can make informed choices for yourself with everything you do in life once you have that knowledge. And also trust your gut instinct as well. Trust your gut. So John says, yes, society does rob children of this connection. Yes, I keep away from MSM. Okay. Thank you for sharing, John. Thank you so much for that. And what are you grateful for? What have you got from this interview today? Share in the chat there. What have you got from it? If you've enjoyed this, please share the love. Love to see you at the retreat. We do need to wrap up very soon. I'd love to hear just any final words of wisdom. Beverley first, and then, yes, question everything. Absolutely, John. Question everything. Definitely question everything. And don't sign anything. Neil Genman used to say, right? Don't sign anything when it comes to real estate. Just do your due diligence, right? There are a lot of sharks out there, and it's important to, do your due diligence before you run out and, trust the powers that be, for example. However, there are also amazing, great people out there. So trust your gut on that one. If you're feeling called at all to come to this retreat, we'd love to see you there. It's going to be phenomenal, very unique, and a beautiful experience. I'm sure you're going to love every moment. There's a link again for that. So final words of wisdom, Beverley.
Well, you can trust us, hopefully, from what
Yes.
you've seen. The three of us are all going to be there as mentors and facilitators and presenters, right?
Yes.
So they can go to the feminineguru.com/events and actually read more about this whole thing. The booking form is there. All you got to do is click on the booking form, fill it out, submit it. And it's all there. You can pay for your event straight away, or you can pay a deposit and the remainder on Monday. So it's Monday. It's on not this weekend, but the following weekend. It's just phenomenal. You're going to love being away and having that opportunity to really, really, maybe finally clean up your act. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sue, final words of wisdom from you.
Just don't be afraid to come forward. Everything that is going to go on there is going to stay there. It's like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes.
We don't expect that people will be cured or anything in the one weekend, but they be introduced to people who can help them. So, and, there's always someone out there who can help in any way, shape or form. Most of the stuff we do, as Beverley said, is unconscious, and it's just a habit. And you've got to be more conscious of the decisions you make every day as well. And the biggest thing I've seen for people, especially when they're starting out in business, is the fear of success, which is the basis of a lot of procrastination in business people. We always make plans and go, yes, 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 I want to be a millionaire, or, my plan is to pay $1 million in tax. That's what I want to do. Because imagine my income if I'm paying $1 million in tax.
Sure.
So the government will love me then.
Oh, they will. And the job keepers and job seekers will be loving you too, because you'll be supporting a lot of those as well.
I love employing people. I hated that was one of the things I really hated when I had to close my business, was I put 4 people out of a job. And that was absolutely devastating to me. But I they all got work within a week or two. They were very talented people.
Right.
But I just worried about them for such, I kept the doors open specifically for them for such a long time, and just couldn't cope with it after a while. But, and I just feel really responsible for people. That's probably why I'm a bit of a mother hen. I feel really responsible for the people that I work with. So if you do happen to come and work with me down the track, this is the kind of thing you'll get. I will just almost smother you, but not really. Just with love and kindness and, assistance and understanding.
And full acceptance.
Positivity is my big thing. I love positivity. Oh yes, a little love heart. Yes,
love. Yeah, lots of
and
love.
I've kept the wand that you gave me so that I can,
Yay.
make everybody.
I've got
happy.
mine.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. So
if
you can come along to the retreat, then get yourself along. If you can't, then contact either me or Beverley, and we might be able to put someone in contact with you that can help you out of whatever it is that you're having trouble with. No problem.
Yeah,
thank you,
wonderful.
Sue. That's important.
So great. So great. It's going to be a phenomenal retreat. So hopefully you can come along. October 8, 9, 10, 2021. How to clean up your act retreat coming up very soon, west of Brisbane. Just go to this link. We'll put on the screen again. Here it is here. thefeminineguru.com/events. thefeminineguru.com/events. And thank you so much for all of our people who've been watching this live, and for those watching the replay. John's put in a few more beautiful comments in there. It's nice to hear people talk about their connection with the natural world. Absolutely. Thank you, John. And here's a great quote. The Great Spirit is in all things. He is in the air we breathe. The Great Spirit is our Father, but the earth is our mother. She nourishes us. That which we put into the ground, she returns to us. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you, John. That's beautiful. And Patricia says, great conversation. Thanks, Doc. Thank you so much, Patricia. Really appreciate that. So get along there. It's going to be a phenomenal retreat coming up just next weekend. So if you feel the time has come for you to have a break, to connect with some people, get back to nature, nurture yourself, fill up your own cup so you can help others with the overflow. If it's time for you to clean up your act and you're ready, you've decided the minute you commit to this, things will start happening in a positive direction for you.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
John says, great, ladies. Thank you so much. And please keep popping your comments in there. What are you grateful for today? What are some tips that you got out of this today? And share the love if you've enjoyed this. Hopefully we can inspire some more people by doing that. You just never know who will watch this and who will get something out of it. So share the love. And also I have a whole lot of events that I do. I do several events every month. And I have coming up, we have the Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass on next week. We have, which is an online 4-hour event. We also have a Star Maker Masterclass, which is how to present and produce videos like a superstar. That's also next week. That's actually on the Gold Coast on next Saturday, actually, is coming up. And then I have the Global Good News Challenge coming up next week. And we have the Mass Media Tribe event. And we have a guest speaker from Holland coming to talk about broadcasting and live streaming media, which is going to be very powerful. And he is the director of Ski TV International, which is going to be a phenomenal event next Wednesday. So come along and connect. Linktree is the link to go to. You can see all my social media links. So stay connected, reach out with any of us. Of course, you'll reach Sue and Beverley on Facebook. And also, what other social media? LinkedIn, you're on as well, aren't you? What other social media are you both on? Where else can they find
Just
you?
those two at the moment.
Okay, Facebook,
and my website.
And your website. Okay, beautiful. All right, and here's the retreat. So get along there to clean up your act. I'll just pop that up one more time. Any final words, ladies?
No, thank you.
Go for it, girls.
You've covered most of it. It's been an absolutely fantastic time this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Aldwyn.
Yes.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. And that time has just flown. I don't know where that's gone, but obviously we've been in the zone, ladies, which means we are on the right path to clean up our act, right? We're on the right path. Can't wait for the retreat. Well done putting that together. And I will be seeing you there, and whoever else chooses to join us, just reach out. And if you have any questions, of course, just send a PM to Beverley or to Sue on Facebook or LinkedIn or through the website. Thank you so much for joining us. As Gandhi says, be the change you wish to see in the world. And as I say, shine bright and light up all those around you. Signing out now from Media Queen TV and the amazing Beverley and Sue. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Thank you for sharing the love, watching this, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.